There is nothing dumber than cold calling. People don't always buy what they need. They always buy what they want. You must see what you do as being a worthy profession.
Do you ever notice that nobody ever bought something while you were talking?
Learn the power of the word recommend. Recommend only the most appropriate product or service. Don't work on your product knowledge, work on how to sell what you have. Anybody can give it away. Approval-seeking salespeople have skinny kids. You know, for you to have a 93% chance of being successful in a sale, you need to have a linked sequential process, one that you follow all the time. Fail to do that, you're down to less than 43% chance for great success. I'm Bill Brooks, the developer of the Impact Selling System. We've been teaching salespeople for well over 20 years to follow our 6-step process of investigate, prospecting, pre-call planning, positioning, meeting your customer, building trust, probing, asking questions, applying solutions, showing how your product is the best solution, convincing your buyer that what you have is the best option for them, and tying up the sale, then servicing and cementing that very same sale. I'm going to suggest to you that if you attend this program, you will sell better, faster, easier, more resistance-free, and at greater margin. What we're doing this morning is we're showing you the why-to behind the Impact Selling System. The Impact Selling System is the how-to, but it's not a system. It's a philosophy of doing business.
I was really impressed with it. With this being my first sales training, I didn't really know what to expect with it. I didn't expect it to be as structured and defined and regimented as it was, and with my personality type, that's really something that I appreciate.
I think one of the things you're going to find, the Impact System is a totally non-manipulative process.
I thought it was a good system to learn. I thought it gave a systematic approach to doing the sales process, which I'd never really been exposed to before.
A confused buyer buys nothing. I did a book in 1995 with another gentleman. We researched sales extensively. The average sales presentation consists of 6 to 8 features or benefits. 24 hours later, the average prospect remembers 1. In 39% of the cases, they remember that 1 incorrectly. And in 49% of the cases, they remember something that wasn't brought up at all.
And so it's just not overwhelming. A lot of training classes that you go to, it's too much. It's like those diets that expect you to count carbs, add your fat with your carbs and subtract, how many miles you walked. It's too much to do in a day, where this one's an easy type of system just to put into your daily routine, and it make you a better salesperson.
Here are 7 principles that I'm going to suggest to you that you may want to think about to guide your sales career. Look at the first one. You must have an integrated prospecting and selling strategy. The Impact Selling System will integrate both of these for you. We're going to talk about parthenons and integration. Secondly, people don't always buy what they need. They always buy what they want.
It's incredible. I mean, I've been through sales training before, and this blows it away. Anything that I've been through. It's just 6 simple steps, and if you follow those steps, your sales will increase.
The investigate step is to gather sufficient information about your market and individual prospects within it to enable you to make the best possible sales presentation. It is properly positioning yourself, your product, and your organization. It's also the actual physical activity of prospecting and pre-call planning. This is all the stuff that happens before you ever get in front of somebody.
Just with my personality, I build the relationship and rapport immediately, but then, right to probe, right to close, and that's it. And now I know the things that I'm missing in between, which is showing me why I may not be closing as many deals, or I'm not closing as many deals as I should be.
Most of the selling occurs where? Early in the sale. We asked 8,000 buyers. The day after a sales presentation was made, we went in 8,000 times. He said, if you were this person's sales manager, and you had to coach them, what would you tell them to do differently? None of them said close the sale differently or present the product differently. What do you think they all said? Open the sale better. Most of it occurs on the front end of the sale.
I guess the biggest thing that I learned is, it's like the iceberg effect. The investigate and the meet and the probe is a much bigger process than the actual, what most people consider the selling part of being in being in front of the customer and talking price and so forth. I mean, that's a very small portion of it. And if you do everything right at the beginning, then the end of it is easier.
Talking too much and listening too little. What do you think? I've seen people sell it and buy it back. One more thing! Right? And you know why? It's natural. You're a little kid. Oh, you have the gift of gab. You ought to go into sales. When did somebody say you have the gift of shutting up, asking the right questions, go into sales?
I got a call from one of my customers, a new customer, and I stepped outside and I took the call, and I caught myself interrupting him twice. You know, while he was trying to tell me what he wanted, he was so excited because he knew I was so excited.
Shut up! Don't interrupt the prospect, but be interruptible.
And I was like, this is what you have to work on. You know, because I have such a strong personality that I have to be more patient and let my customer talk to me.
You want to position yourself as being the person that the customer wants to go to for advice. You are not selling the equipment. You sell them the advice, the solutions, and guess what they do? They buy that, and you happen to give them the product with it.
This is a simple process. I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You follow it, you'll sell your product.
I see no value, costs too much. If you're getting that kind of resistance, you have not created value. Are you with me? So what you have to do is you have to find out how aversive are they to risk? How big a role does risk play in the decision? How much are they prepared to implement change? How much time are they prepared to install in this? Let me ask you this, how important are technical services to you? What role does delivery play in your decision? Tell me a little bit about your product specifications and what you're after. Let me ask you this, how important is it for you to deal directly with a manufacturer? What experiences, if any, have you had in the past when you haven't been dealing with a manufacturer? What kind of problems has this created for you? Let me ask you this, how familiar are you with the way that our technicians work? Okay, how important is it for you to have an assigned technician who specifically knows your application? And you know something, Randy? I don't even sell your product. How many of you see the structure? That's why if you understand the structure, you can virtually sell anything.
I think it was the fact that it's given me structure to do my job. I didn't have any. Coming from a collection field, strictly collections, into a sales division, I didn't have those assets, and now I have a structure. I can go out and call on a client and do the things that I've been told in impact selling.
If I've done a good job of investigate, if I've met and built trust, if I've probed, if I've applied the right solution, and they believe what I've told them, what's the most likely thing to happen?